Okay, that's enough of that. That song been stuck in my head, bro. So I'm gonna walk in today or not. We definitely are back. Elevations to everyone in the collective. Let's call our energy back from that last read to start this new read. I want to play this out loud right now, but I know YouTube will, you know, block me. I'll play that music and stuff. So. Okay, don't laugh at me. I told you I'm a total dork. We have a Pisces. Spirituality to ultimately experience, trusting your psychic knowledge of, resulting from the indecision of or about. What is this? It's time for a treat in the reverse. I believe we're talking about abuse of power here, my guys. Dudes, I used to think like people like, I told you I was emo, so I used to find the rocker boys and the skater boys, they used to be hella hot to me. So yep, it's a time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now. I think something is over with someone abusing their power or abusing their authority. That's also what I'm getting. Somebody may be a high-ranking occultist. Y'all remember as you come in, and I know I have little viewers. We're getting there, though. It doesn't matter. Remember as you come in to hit that like button and subscribe, okay? If you are feeling the need to donate, the link is in my community box. You can cash at me at hashtag Absalom, ABSOLUM, Daleth, DALETH 9. Daleth stands for door. 9 stands for completion. Walking through the door of completion. I really don't know what Absalom is, but I kept on hearing it. I think that's in the Book of Solomon. Or maybe it's in the Goetia of Solomon. Yes, I've read the Goetia, so I wonder if I could play that loud.
Here's why kids at K-12 powered schools are happier. Walmart Public School means kids feel comfortable anywhere they're comfortable.
Oh yeah, we had a time to say goodbye, and we had Sobek, Ashe to Sobek, union and power. So this is what I'm saying. Somebody could be an occultist. They could have formed a lot of ties and connections because of a position of power. It could be, they may be like wealthy or well off. Someone could be a trust fund. Maybe somebody could just be a high ranking occultist. Somebody could be a political or public figure of some kind. And this is because of connections. This person has. Okay. That's Creed. Okay, You know, I have to turn it off because. Okay, so. No, God, the Most High only gives us power in order to see what we're going to do with it, right? And unfortunately, people fall victim of thinking that because they have this, you can have a huge standing in some type of political force or position of authority, power, occultist, cult, coven. And I think people forget that people really underestimate and undermine God's ultimate and the Most High's ultimate and last say so, right? Nothing happens without the Most High. Okay. So everything does happen for a reason, even if you've abused people, harmed people, or abused your position of power or authority. Doesn't matter the connections you have, everything at any given time. Not only can the Most High take away those connections, but they can take away your position of power, everything you've ever gained off of your abuse of power, because things have come to an end. It's not time for a treat. Enough people have been in places of power or had the keys, the resources, the authority, the power in order to make proper changes, and they did not. You understand? So the first card we have was Pisces, spirituality to ultimately experience, trusting your psychic knowledge of, resulting from the indecision of or about, right? With that whole indecision, with that energy being there, I'm feeling like not having the position, power, resources to make the right choices, but not making them, all because of your connections, your union and power, worried about your connections, who you would lose, but who you lose along the way when you make the right decisions for yourself or the collective as a whole. It is never going to be a huge loss. The Most High is always going to replenish you with more and better. Always, right? And this, it's time for a treat. It's in reverse. It's over for that. I think people had enough time to make the right decisions and they chose not to. So it's over for everybody's treat. Those who indulged or overindulged in their connections, their powers, their resources that could have helped a collective global scale, being of service to other people, they didn't do that. So now it's over. You will no longer have that. That's what I feel like that this is saying. So it doesn't have to be that. This is just what I'm getting off the feel of just these 4 cards that I pulled. A time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now, and then union and power. So it's about to end for those in positions of power and authority. Mind you, I'm gonna keep on piggybacking off of the whole national announcement where Trump came out, the White House and the Supreme Court, they had a ruling that reestablished the birthright citizenship of the indigenous peoples of the lands, period, of all melanated races, period, right? And I think Trump was real butthurt about that, or maybe he wasn't. I kind of feel like Trump was put in place. Everything happens for a reason. So I feel like Trump was put in place. I just be having this sense of knowing, especially when you know everything will be okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bro. So I definitely been back on my rocker music. So listen, it's funny that this came up. You hear me? Okay, I guess this one needs to come out. Look, powerful personal growth, nautical princess. You hear what he said? I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Synchronistic. You see how the divine lines stuff up? Like when you in your right alignment and placements, they are going to give you all the synchronicities. I'm talking about tarot cards, songs, downloads, index cards, just signals, signifying. Something is signifying to someone. Somebody is getting the message. I don't think that they like the message, but they're getting somebody is literally, or people, somebody's are getting the message that it's over, that it's just over. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall and lose it all. He said it starts with one. It starts with one. It doesn't really matter how hard you try. Keep God in mind. I said what they're talking about is no matter what, God has the final say so. People need to know that, okay? We have the nautical princess, and then we have judgment in the reverse, bro. This is what I'm telling you. Somebody made bad judgment calls purposefully. Knowing what to do, knowing what needs to be done, being in a position to do the right thing, but choosing not to. Hey, them ancestors on their way, talk about November. Them ancestors being here with the Ace of Cups. This is giving me making bad judgment calls based off of emotions, right? This is like let's say you're a CEO or something of a company, and let's say that you have an employee, let's say you work for some type of law firm. This is also what I'm getting from this law. So let's say you have some type of law firm, and let's say that you have a very dedicated employee. They've been there, they've been working their way up to the top. This person started from like, the lunch go boy or girl, or the mail carrier or deliverer or whatever, or just a secretary or working in some clerical, and they worked their way up. They went through Page of Pentacles in reverse to the strength, and they worked their way up to a certain position. They done took the bar, they passed their exam, and let's say that they have been getting all the hints and doing all the necessary work in order to be next in line for a particular, let's say, office job, or becoming one of the partners or something like that, becoming next in line. And someone having the position to, let's say the person in charge with the power, they are the ones who will make the final decisions, but they decide that they're going to skip over that person because they want to choose a family member who just, maybe they just got out of college or something. Maybe they just got kicked out of the house. Maybe they just getting back on their feet, and someone chose someone less qualified. This is what I'm saying with the Ace of Cups, based off of their emotions for a person, as opposed to making the upright decision. You know what I'm saying? Page of Pentacles, somebody who was underqualified. Do you hear me? Somebody who was underqualified over someone who was qualified. Somebody made that choice. Yep. Tower. Do you hear what I'm saying? And somebody made a bad judgment call. And I think because they made this, and in decisions like this, you can't make heart over head decisions. So that's why we have to be able to separate the two. Y'all, I feel like feathers are on my face. You know what song I'm thinking of now? Crawling. Your girl is that one, right? not gonna sing it. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Somebody is crawling in their skin about a decision that they made to put someone first or skip over someone. I think someone lost a real good employee. I think that they gave somebody that was underqualified a position that they did not deserve. And somebody is suffering a tower. They are crawling in their skin. You hear me? And they gave this person, they could have given the person some type of BS type of excuse as to why they didn't choose them. This person was next in line for a position and they got picked over. But also Spirit is saying that could be karma for this person also why they got picked over, but it was karma. This is kind of like a karmic lesson when it comes to career or business, like professional in a professional manner, not just in a relationship or anything like that. This is like a karmic lesson in career on someone's career path, right? This could be a Queen of Cups, a feminine energy, or they chose a Queen of Cups over someone else, but Spirit is giving me like this was karma for somebody. So let's say that maybe this person that was due for the position, they did work their way up the top, but let's say that a long time ago, back in the days, this person did something real bad, right? And maybe they got away with it, but you never really get away with stuff. I'm telling you how karma and God work, okay? God has the final say so. This person got away with it. Maybe they got some ill-begotten or something like that. I don't know, right? Maybe they stepped on somebody's toes to even get into this company. Let's say it like that. And this person actually walked away from being deceitful. They worked their way up, but when it got time, let's say this person been there for several years at some type of law firm, they actually worked their way from the bottom up. And they came next in line. Everybody was hinting that it was them. They got the recommendations. They got the letters of approval and all of that stuff. And when it came time for them to be chosen for, next in line, let's say partner, or this could even be senior partner or something like that, they got overlooked. And they feel like the injustice has been done on them, but there's nothing but karma coming back for whoever they stepped on in order to get their foot in the door at first. And now they know what it feels like to be undercut, right? But not only that, the person who had the final say so, the CEO or whoever this is of this law firm, they chose someone based off of a heart over head decision. This could be a woman that they chose who they may have been, and so I be cracking myself up. I be doing too much, bro. Not really, but I love me. What are you gonna do? So they chose this woman. They made a heart over head decision instead of choosing the more qualified person. Unbeknownst to the person that was making the decision, they don't realize that they were enacting karma for the person they overlooked, but also the person that they chose is karma for them for making a heart over head decision in a business environment, right? Business is business. That's why I can't work with family. No, I can't give you a discount, bald-headed. Nope, I can't. People always want a discount, especially when you start a business. I will never go into business with family. Never. Some people just are not there. And this could be somebody's father that chose their daughter over somebody definitely could have came out of rehab or something. And they weren't qualified. Let's say this is a father CEO of a law firm or some type of company or something. And their daughter just got out of rehab. Let's say she did her, but she had her bar. She took the bar exam, got her license. That this person fell into that lifestyle, Clear my throat chakra. Somebody don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna say it. So anyways, don't say it's because I'm smoking. Don't say it's because I'm smoking. You know that. But that wasn't that. That was like, shut up, Yeah, somebody chose their daughter over a qualified employee. So that daughter ended up becoming the or it could be it's not their daughter, but it could be a partner's daughter. Like, oh, overlook that person and then choose my daughter. She has her bar exam, or she passed her bar exam. You know, she already went to school, and even though she doesn't have the experience, she just got out of rehab, so it'll give her something to do, so she could try and, you know, keep her head on straight. And I think that somebody's crawling in their skin because they are suffering towers for choosing this person. So this is like double karma being paid. I heard dharma. Dharma. Yeah, it's time for a treat is in the reverse. Somebody thought something was going to be sweet with this bad judgment call. How? I feel like two people, baby, karma is tearing people up. Did you hear me? I'm watching it play out in real time. It's tearing people up. It's time for a treat. What is it? Oh, it's time for a treat in the reverse. Yep. Right, if I'm lying, 5 of Cups. Okay, 5 of Cups. It's time to say goodbye. It's over. Somebody, company could have actually got shut down. I think somebody, hired somebody. Oh, hold on. Oh, Lord. This could be. Listen. This could be a trust. A law firm that handles trust, like trust law firms and stuff, inheritance law firms and stuff, real estate, not real estate, but estate trust firms and stuff like that. That's my pedometer. It's like, let's get moving now. Right. And I think somebody hire somebody's kid or somebody that's like out of rehab or something like this, and this person took their company down because this company very well could be getting investigated. Somebody, daughter or child or somebody was like targeting people who had trust funds and stuff like that, inheritances, estates and stuff. Somebody was doing some illegal stuff, and I think this whole company is going down. Tower was there. I'm telling you what I love. We got a King of Wands at the bottom. Something is about to end for now. I really feel like this is a law firm. Pedek, P-E-D-E-K. Give me a time to say goodbye. Something is ending for now. What's ending? I'm telling you, somebody company, law firm company that handles trust and estates is like going under. This is what I'm telling you I love. Because somebody made a heart over head decision instead of making the choice that was more logical for the company's good. And whomever they chose over that was underqualified, this person done did a lot of illegal stuff. It's time to say goodbye. Look, it's the owner of the company, King of Pentacles. The owner of the company, it's time to say goodbye. Something is ending for now, or something is coming to is about to end for now. I heard you haven't heard the last of me, Mortimer. I don't know if anybody. Trading places is significant. We have union and power with the 9 of Cups. Somebody did a lot of shady, underhanded stuff because they had somebody that they were connected to. They feel like this is also giving me like, you know, like okay, listen, this is like the privileged kid. This is like some of them silver spoon fed kids, you know, they never had to work hard for anything. Everything was always given to them. And this is not me knocking down anyone. This is what I'm feeling from this. And somebody was like a troublemaker because, you know, those type of kids, sometimes those children are troublemakers, you know, like they be like so void on the inside, even though they have everything, they really don't feel like they have nothing. So they start acting out. somebody child has had a long history of like violence and getting arrested, locked up, doing stuff, all kinds of stuff like stealing cars, and they recently had like some type of addiction. They went to rehab, they got out, and someone who works at a trust law firm, estate law firm or something, instead of them choosing the qualified, the next person in position that was qualified, they chose the child, this child that just got out of rehab and stuff. And this, thinking that if they gave them this position or this opportunity, they would do better, choose better, and they would just stay out of trouble. Now, somebody made trouble for a whole company up in here, and it's a whole problem. Somebody abused their power and authority. That's what I'm telling you. Yep, the world is here. The world is here. The world is about to know something can be on the news. This could be a cycle coming to an end or closing. That's what cycle. Okay. Power, personal growth. But this came after, remember, union and power, 9 of Cups with the world. Somebody was stealing trust funds. Somebody was doing something real illegal in a trust fund or an estate company with people's trust funds. This could be like changing wills. This could be like targeting people who are on trust funds and wills, and like sending people towards them and stuff. And like, we got a lot coming out, bro. Ace of Cups, look, Magician, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, the Lovers, bro. Somebody was sending lovers towards people, like trust fund babies and stuff like this. Somebody got to put the wrong person in position to do this stuff. This person was targeting these people because they wanted money. They wanted these people's trust fund. They were sending lovers in towards them and having, bro, this is a big scandal. That's why the world was there. Yep, the Chariot. We got the Ace of Cups, Magician. So they would target whoever this person or people were. They were targeting these people. They were targeting them. They had practitioners doing work on them, love spells and stuff like that, to send in romantic partners, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, the Lovers with the Chariot, sending in lovers, potential lovers, because people could have been, let's say you were unaware you were left in someone's will, targeting people like that were unaware. Let's say that. Let's say like changing somebody's will behind the scenes, right? By sending in people like lovers and things of that nature to trick people to change their wills and stuff and sign their wills and stuff over to them or put them in the will or write people out the will. This is definitely what I'm getting. The Nautical Princess, powerful personal growth. Somebody didn't want to do the work. They just wanted to steal it. And I think that's going to be the next scandal. They're arresting police officers and all kind of connections. That's what's going on now. But that's just the bottom. They're starting at the bottom. Yep. King of Swords. 2 of Cups. Yeah, this company is being investigated. They are definitely being investigated for this. This is a huge scandal, where all this trust fund inheritances, estates and stuff are going. What happened to them? Who's been doing what? And I'm telling you, a lot of them, these stolen trust funds and trust fund babies being targeted and stuff like that. People who didn't know that they were trust fund babies or had inheritances or were left estates and being targeted because of that, because I keep dreaming about it. It's going to be traced back to these big old law firms, estate law firms, trust law firms and stuff like that. That's exactly what this is. It's a huge scandal. I heard global scandal. It's a huge scandal going on. These people have been investigated because, see, they started down at the bottom, but 2 of Swords. With the 2 of Swords being here, coming with a powerful personal growth, Somebody was trying to block, and this is even giving me like a tone of racism. I'm sorry to say it or bring that in here, but this is the truth. So a lot of these trust law firms, estate firms, and stuff like that, companies, they have a lot of people who have that racist mentality. It could be a sexist mentality. They could be misogynistic. They may not want women to have personal power, be seen as wealthy, or this could they may not want a specific race or demographic to have personal power, money, trust, wills, inheritances, estates. So they target these people or block these people out of these trusts, estates, wills, inheritances, stuff like that, to keep them from growing, to keep them from ever getting whatever it is that's due to them. Yep. Because they don't want these people to be powerful, personal, powerful growth. With Two of Swords, High Priestess. Knowing that people who are in this energy, clairvoyant, excuse me, my nose is itchy. Freaking nose rings. I don't know if I'm gonna take them out or not, but imagine if you are a high priestess or a high priest, naturally, a shaman, natural shaman, a natural white witch, whatever, wizard, whatever. You are gifted, right? Imagine you grow up in poverty, but imagine that money was left to you a long time ago. I think people overlook this fact that our ancestors, let's say ancestors, had wills, and they definitely did. They had wills. That's what's in them tombs and crypts and stuff like that. Those wills, those are inheritances. And it says, let's say it says like Egyptian culture, Cambodia, Khmer, Ashe. They have ancient scrolls and texts that say that in this year, the granddaughter or grandson of this particular bloodline, lineage, or whatever, shall inherit what we left in these tombs, because they have all of back in a long time ago, in ancient days, they had every royal family, even middle class families, they had seers. They had prophets. They had people that prophesied who would be high priests and high priestesses, shamans, healers, stuff like that. They knew when they would come. So they left these energies stuff. They left them stuff. And this is what people are not realizing about the robbing of these tombs. What's really been going on. Even land, inheriting land, things of that nature, businesses, right? Treasures, gold, ancient scrolls and texts, particular thrones. Imagine this stuff was written a long time ago in wills and trusts. They did have those in ancient days. So the years come around, and these particular bloodlines, let's say for the past 20 years, are supposed to inherit these things. There has been a systematic scandal that has been occurring for a long time. You hear me? To stop people like this from getting what was left to them by their great ancestors, aunts, uncles, aunties, whatever. Hear me? And this is going to be the next on the worldwide news. This is going to be the next scandal. I'm telling you what I love. Yep. High priestess with the 5 of Wands, by targeting these people, gang stalking them, causing them conflict, putting them under emotional distress, turmoil. These are civil lawsuits that are about to come, because the stuff that they've been taking out of them tombs does not belong to them. It was already written in their ancient scrolls and texts who those treasures, who those texts, who those scrolls, crowns and everything would go to, land, who it would go to. And they targeted these type of people. They did. Look, they found out who these people were, and they targeted them to cause conflict with the Hermit. They targeted these people. And they tried to keep this hush hush. This is going to be on the news. The next scandal. Look, the Hermit to the Hierophant. We had the High Priestess come out. And these could be masculine energies who, let's say, these are warlocks. These are warlocks who wanted to take positions of power. This is why I said it has some type of like racist or misogynistic or sexist type of tone. And that's funny because I was talking about how I was on TikTok early this morning, bro. And every live I came across, it was men against the battle of the sexes. Why one is better than the other? Why one is more important than the other? Why one should be put over the other? Why one is more valuable than the other? And I'm just like, bro, I have had it. And I feel like, yep, this is falling by the judgment in the reverse. I'm telling you, these are like warlock energies that decided in secret societies, things of that nature, cults, covens, that got into positions of power to target high priests and high priestess that were supposed to inherit thrones, kingships, queenships, kingdoms, emperors, land, treasures, jewels, gold, materials, resources, texts, scrolls, things like that. Yep. And they targeted these people. With the emperor here, we have the Hierophant to the emperor. I told you these are warlocks. And they particularly were targeting women, not ever wanting women to be back in power, because remember, the royal bloodline and kingship is passed down the maternal bloodline. When people start realizing this, they're gonna look, the devil is in the reverse, bro. These are warlocks. Do you hear me? The devil, we have the hermit, the Hierophant, the emperor, the devil in the reverse. So they would target these people, love life, to send them in, causing them conflict, causing them all these crazy issues in their lives, to be so distracted by that. The hurt, the pain, the heart, the lungs, the heart chakra is closed or in turmoil. These high priests and high priestess would never be in alignment to receive their due diligence by way of trust and inheritances and spiritual gifts and things of that nature. Oh, with the Seven of Pentacles, the devil is in the reverse. This could even be like freeing these people from contracts that were entered into in acquiescence. I feel like that goes with this whole Trump Supreme Court announcement that they just have done. And I believe that the reason why this stuff is coming to an end, I see a red cardinal outside. I believe that's why they made that announcement, because they know that let's say extraterrestrial ancestors, that they are actually coming. They know that they've announced this. They had to acknowledge it because they know it's over with. They have not given to the indigenous people of the lands what is due to them, what belongs to them, and they in trouble. And I think that they think if they give it up now before they make it here, it's going to be all gravy, baby. It is not. It is not. What's the devil in the reverse? Somebody is also leaving a cult or coven. Yep. I told you because the ancestors are coming. I promise you. They releasing all this stuff to the rightful claimants and owners because they know the ancestors are coming. Confirmation. With the 10 of Cups, bro, look, I cannot make this up. The Chariot, these are the ancestors, family, royal bloodlines and lineages. They're coming. And they know this. NASA. Oh, extraterrestrials, they're on their way here. They're going to be here in November. Yeah, you damn Skippy. And then we got Trump in the Supreme Court making a ruling that says that we're giving the land back to the indigenous people. We have to definitely acknowledge that they are the indigenous, real, true claimants and owners of land in position of power and authority. That's definitely what's going on. They know the ancestors are coming. The Ten of Cups is here with the Chariot, bro. The devil is in the reverse. People are leaving cults and covens. They are releasing people from contracts and everything because everybody is fleeing, running scared, fearful, baby, with the Tower. And you know who this Tower is for? These big companies globally that have had access. Remind you, when they went on all these crazy excursions and they were stealing treasures and instruments of power from and scalping hair, like stealing emperors and like kings and stuff, hair. Mind you, let's say like Khonsu, very rich, let's say Arabian princesses. I'm hearing Persia as well. All that gold and stuff that was stolen, gold, jewels, all kinds of stuff was stolen, and then they've been robbing the tombs, so those treasures won't go to the rightful claimants and owners. Baby, the ancestors gonna come handle all that, and it's like, oh, now we're gonna give it back to them, right? But they coming after the companies. So when they stole all that stuff, they registered all that stuff on certificates and paperwork and stuff like that. They registered those things. They have an account for every single treasure that they've ever gotten, robbed, pillaged, whatever. And this stuff in museums. Y'all didn't want to release it at will. I bet you y'all gonna really start releasing it now. I bet you that's going to be the next thing on the news, is people are going to start seeing where museums are releasing back those artifacts. It could be hair, whatever, artifacts back to their original lands and claimants owners. I bet you. Mark my words, you hear me? You hear me? Because now they're like, oh, the answers is coming, baby. They've been sitting in orbit. They've been in the oceans. The oceans is nothing but portals. They've been sitting in orbit. And they knew this when they announced that there was a Muamua. They knew that that was the ancestors then. They know that it was, they talking about it was coming and it might clap. No, that's a spaceship. It ain't no comet or whatever they would like to call it, or I don't know if they call it an asteroid. It's not an asteroid. It is a spaceship. A Muamua. It's a spaceship. But mind you, just as long as light takes to get here, let's say that they're light years away, it takes them that long to get here, but time works different. Time does not exist in space travel. You get what I'm saying? So they're talking about they're going to be here by November. No, baby, they already here. They are already here. And a lot of these big companies that handled these trusts and stuff, like I said, that stuff was entered onto certificates and stuff, and then it was put into like vaults with these companies, and then these companies targeted people that they knew were high priests, high priestesses, natural born white witches, shamans, healers, stuff like that, light workers and bears. They targeted them and made their life impoverished and hard in order to keep them from getting into positions of power. Baby, it's over for that. Do you hear me? 10 of Wands. And these people, they know what's coming. They know what's coming. Page of Swords. They know they have been watched. They are burdened because they know that everything that they have been done has been seen by the ancestors. The ancestors just not in they're not just in the spiritual realm. Now, mind you, even if they are, they can manifest into the physical. I'm telling you. Especially if they ascended master, stuff like the Orishas, the Blue Blacks, the Lyrans, the what's Nataculus, like nautical. So I guess ancestors of the waters, the deep. Oh, y'all don't want no Triton. What in the F? Titan or Triton? Like Poseidon? Poseidon. Hey, it's the extraterrestrials that's on their way here. We talking about we in August. They talking about November, August, September, October, November. Do you hear me? So we talking in 3 months, right? They don't want that. Eight of Pentacles, King of Wands. What's the 10 of Wands? sending in lovers to people, targeting them and stuff, and putting them in impoverished. That's really what a lot of this gentrification was all about, like the bombing of Tulsa and stuff like that, because they know that people, melanated communities still had, even when they fought through slavery and all that, they regained a grip on life and society by reestablishing themselves and reestablishing, making their own communities, and they destroyed those places, and then they built ghettos and put people in projects and ghettos, and then called us monkeys and lazy and pathetic, and broke up our families and household. Bro, it's some ancestors coming that these people just don't want to deal with, but they gonna deal with them. I heard you gonna see today. They gonna learn today. Them ancestors ain't coming. They already here. I believe they've already made their approach and presence be known in the White House, in positions of power. Watch NATO be talking about it. NASA talking about it. NATO talking about it. Do you hear me? Okay. Yep. 8 of Pentacles is in the reverse. They did everything that they could to stop the rise of light workers, high priests, high priestesses, healers, light workers, light bearers. You know, this is all what big 7 of Pentacles. This is all what big pharmas were about. The oil companies, the industrial revolution, stuff like that. It was about many things, but the main goal, the main objective of all that stuff on a collective scale was about stopping light workers, chosen ones, people in positions of powers, healers, white witches, shamans, high priests, high priestesses, hierophant energies. It was to stop them from ever having the tools and the necessary resources, money, financial stability that they needed in order to reestablish a proper society and help with evolution. And I'm telling you the truth of what this is. And I told them they didn't want them problems. We've been trying to tell them, but no, they thought that they was gonna be so slick. They had one little last hurrah in them. Nah, they got a hurrah for y'all. Watch the cuss words, excuse me. They got one last hurrah for y'all. And also, I addressed this before. I don't think people really took me serious. The ancestors have been coming. They were supposed to have been here, right? And what happened is, as I spoke about CERN and the Large Hadron Collider with the Small Hadron Collider, that is a grand time travel machine. And this is why the Mandela effect occurred, is because they switched this plane of existence, or this earth, into a parallel universe to continue to abuse the indigenous powerful beings of this plane of existence, period. Switch us to a parallel universe so we cannot be found. And when that happens, and they're using that Large Hadron Collider as not just a time travel machine, and they shifted our whole entire planet into a parallel universe, into an alternate universe or reality. That's why the Mandela effect happened. They messed with time. And then they also used that Large Hadron and Small Hadron Collider. Like, let's say the Large Hadron Collider was used as a grand time traveling machine, and then the Small Hadron Collider was used as a cloaking device to cloak this entire planet while it was sitting in a parallel universe, while they continued to pillage, pummel, I don't know, I lost that word, and abuse the multidimensional light bringers, bearers, high priests, shamans, stuff like that on this plane, stealing our treasures and stuff like that. I'm telling you, because they came to me and they showed me, bro, and then there it is again with the tower at the bottom. And they found it. And I told you, I had that dream, and it was like so many huge, like extraterrestrial ships, and they were glowing in green. And they were talking to me telepathically, and they kept saying, we found them. And I said that I saw the Milky Way, but it wasn't white like the Milky Way we know. This Milky Way, it was like red and blue with hints of white. It was very different, but it was the Milky Way, but it was like a different type, like it was like burning. It was like the Milky Way had opened, like a portal, or like a, I don't even know how to explain it. And it was sitting down at the ground. It was like Earth had been like elevated to the level of the Milky Way galaxy, where you could literally just stand here on the ground and just look dead at it like, what the F? And I seen all these planets, and it was planetary alignments. It was talking about alignments, and it showed me Mercury, Jupiter, what was it? Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. It could be Pluto. I keep hearing Pluto. I did write it down, but then in the middle was a black planet. I don't know what the black planet symbolized. I can ask though. I can definitely ask. Oh, the black planet. Target, tower, stuck, zoning or zooming in, or honing in and finding a precise location. GPS. This is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, these ancestors, they didn't just come. They ain't coming where are they just extraterrestrial beings like you think. We talking about dragons now. Where we're talking about, I don't think people realize how many different type of species and beings reside in and on this planet. So they didn't just do that to the indigenous humans of this plane of existence. And this is why stuff became like, it's like we've been living in a twilight zone, right? So imagine that's what that CERN, you hear me? Large Hadron Collider, particle collider. They were trying to rip apart the fabric of the universe. They did that. They tore open a door. They put this in articles. They did that. And literally, they time travel, or they literally shifted us into an alternate reality or parallel universe. That's why everything is so crazy. Like back in the days, we really loved family, and family was really this, and people really upheld the family structure and having each other's backs, and the whole mom, father, children, head of households. There was no clashing of that. We got along. And then it was like this huge shift happened. Things are being overly sexualized. People don't value monogamy. People don't value marriages anymore. People don't respect their mother, their father. They don't respect their children. And it's like the Twilight Zone, walking around here like weird. Like, what happened to people? We were shifted into a parallel universe. I'm telling you what I love. They use that Large Hadron Collider to shift our planet, so they can continue to use and abuse us. Loosh farms, okay? That's what they don't want to tell you. And with that Hierophant and the devil in reverse coming out, I'm telling you, this is contracts. This is contracts where they like sold the people. They sold light bringers and bearers to or devilish contracts that were entered into in acquiescence. Like, we have no idea the power or magnitude of that dang birth certificate. That is a devil's instrument. If I ever seen one, I've tried to explain that in not a lot, but what that really is. They talk about the devil's tools and instruments. Now, when you think of in terms of how things operate, they operate in business, right? And in business, what do they use? Instruments. And whether they're instruments, certificates, paperwork, it could be all kinds of stuff, but instruments, right? They use instruments when they file their taxes. That's an instrument. So that birth certificate is an instrument. It was a securities bond, and they use that in order to enter us into contracts of selling our souls, to use us for loosh farms. You hear me? I know. Talking about the ancestors are coming. Yeah, they've been found them. They've been baby. When I say they finna light them up, and they know it. 7 of Wands in the reverse to the 7 of Cups. Look, 7-7. 779, 79. 779 could be an area code. 977, 997, 779. That could be how many ships are coming. 779 ships. Fleets. 779 fleets. Oh, they're your little energy weapons are they're gonna disable that. Also, a global blackout too. It's gonna start with like rolling blackouts. A global blackout though, it's going to. They lying about, that's August the 2nd. There's some type of eclipse that happened where it's supposed to go dark on this planet. That's a shift happening. They're not telling the truth about that. That's a shift happening, and that's also like explain it to me. Motherships connecting to the grid and blocking out what we think is the sun, but it's not. Yeah, that's exact. Yeah. Look, we finna go through global blackouts because we have solar flares equals energy upgrades. Yep. Look, if I'm lying about what I'm talking about, poverty, I'm telling you what they did, and it's too late. Look, a lot of people are getting ringing in their ears. That's a telepathic message. The reticuloids could be significant. Yep, they targeted people that like Dr. Sabi and stuff. He's not the only one, but I just always refer to him because that's who people are aware of. But we have 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands. Since I can't control you, I prefer to daydream of perfect interactions between us where you agree with me. That's so weird. And then we have 7 of Wands. I'm afraid to show you off because I feel you are out of my league and others will make fun of me or try to steal you from me. So they bargain with you. They bargain with us as a people. And when they when they say others will try to steal you from me, I believe that they're talking about those birth certificate instruments where they sold us, used us as collateral. You hear me? Chateau property. 3/5 of a human. Right. Be mindful. Listen to the word human. Okay, let's learn etymology real quick. Man, okay? Man is a man and woman or woman, okay? Remember that, okay? Hue, H-U-E. Doesn't that mean pigmented? Doesn't that mean shade of? The Magician, bro. I'm starting to notice all sorts of signs and coincidences and realize my own power in creating them. I'm working on manifesting you. So we're gonna call that there. I'm gonna end this live and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do some general talking about dating, love life. We may do a love read. Who knows where this will go? So stay tuned. Bye. I'll see y'all back in a minute.